Hi, welcome to my channel. In the 3 months since I started my channel, I posted 15 videos on sales strategies, sales management, startup strategies, experiences and knowledge that I have acquired over 40 odd years in sales and marketing. I hope you had an opportunity to look at those videos. In this video is for people who are starting out on their entrepreneurial journey or those early stage startups on what else to look for. What else to look for in your customer discovery journey. You have an idea, you believe you know who your customer could be, you know that the value that you can deliver, and you believe that your potential customer will see value and will pay for it. Or you already have a product that you have built based on all these assumptions, but are probably finding it a little difficult to find takers, find people who are more than willing to invest in your product or solution or idea. Either ways, you've started out on your life-changing journey. You know who your customer is, you know what your product can do for you, and you know why they will pay for it. Let me tell you, any startup owner will tell you this, that the most difficult part is this customer discovery. Who is your customer? Why would they pay for your product? What is the value that you can deliver for them? What is the value that they will see in your product? Do you understand their expectations? By this, I'm not taking anything away from your product. I'm sure it's a great product and it will deliver on its promise. I am sure that your customer will see value in it. At least the target segments that you are working with right now are seeing value, will see value, and will pay for it. But are you actually targeting the right customer? Now that is what you need to look at. In my experience over the last 18 plus years working with startups, mentoring various startups, various types of startups, I've seen firsthand this particular experience of how the assumption about a customer could actually go wrong. Everything else being good, product easily delivering on its promise and also delivering value, but still finding it difficult to find customers or willingness to pay for it. This is the experience that I want to share with you in this video on what else to look for when you are trying to discover your customer. The first example is about a healthcare startup that I was involved with about 4-5 years ago. They had built a cloud-based automation solution to automate the entire process of a diagnostic lab. In a diagnostic lab, when a patient gives their sample, let's say a blood sample, the sample is put into one of those analytical machines, and the machine throws out a set of numbers based on its analysis and the readings, and this is put through a process, internal process within the lab, where it is transcribed into various type of registers for multiple mandatory requirements, for maintaining records, for sending out information to various departments, and the report is generated for the pathologist for them to give their opinion, and the final report is generated for delivery to the patient. This entire process typically in a diagnostic lab takes about a day and a half, which is why you get your report at the end of the day or maybe the next day, depending upon the complexity of the process that you have involved, that you have paid for. Now, with this solution, we knew that we could, and we tested it with 1 or 2 labs, we could bring down this process to just 45 minutes. The entire process could be completed in 45 minutes, generating the report for the pathologist, sending it via email, the person doing the correction, sending it back with their comments, and then the final report being printed by the system and printed out and emailed to the patient. All this is automated. What does this result in? This would definitely result in the lab's ability to process more patients in a given day, in a given number of hours. So that means more revenue, more bottom line. The impact would be tremendous on the real estate, because there is a lot of storage space that would be saved, because all the records which are now maintained as hard copy will all be digitized. So the space savings are there. So the benefits could easily be measured. and the delivered and the measurable benefits could easily be delivered to every startup, every diagnostic lab. But there were few takers, very few takers, and the reason being, took some time to discover that, was that the typical lab owner, diagnostic lab owner, comes from some traditional business, using the excess money to invest in some of the equipment that is required to open up a path lab and use it as just another business. As long as that business is producing results, is generating revenues on a regular basis, that business owner, that type of business owner does not see value in any kind of productivity tool. For them, that is an expense, not an investment, and that was the problem. So in the customer discovery process that we went through in the early stage of the startup, this was not factored in because this was never envisaged. So this is one thing that one could use in our own analysis for our own current target segment that we are working with, or maybe discover something new. The second startup with whom I was associated for almost 3 years, and I had reached, we met at the time when they were actually going out trying to acquire customers. Their assumption for their business plan was that the small business unit is their target segment, because small business units are owner driven, they have very few processes, they don't have people, and the owner does all the hiring themselves, and therefore such a product, which is, they had a cloud-based recruitment process automation solution, would be of immense value to that small business, because everything can be done by the owner himself or herself, and they do not need people to do it for them because their requirements were small, and therefore they could go and peg themselves out there. But those very reasons turned out to be the reasons why a small business was unwilling to invest in their solution. Because the number of hires per annum per year were very low, maybe 10 or 12, because they are 50 to 100 man units, and because they had no process, this was owner driven, maybe one person in HR doing all the hiring, they felt, with no process, why do I need a process automation solution? Why do I need a solution of this nature? I don't need it, because if I'm going to be hiring one person per month at an average, I can do that on my own. And therefore, that segment did not yield any results. Eventually, we discovered that the real segment for them was the large enterprise, who already had tools, large tools for recruitment, where they could go and peg themselves and augment that tool with the features of AI and machine learning that their solution had, to provide more value to the recruitment process those enterprises were experiencing at that point in time. So they were able to acquire a lot of large enterprise customers, high ticket value, each sale of very high ticket value, and they were successful in that segment. The original segment that they thought about was completely discarded. So this is another way, another experience where something that should have sold did not sell for the reasons that it should have sold. So that's something that you could possibly think about. The third example is about a startup which I was involved in personally, helped start. This is about in 2000, 20 years ago, where we were actually selling value-added services to mobile services. It was very new in the Middle East at that point in time. This was a B2B2C solution. That means we were selling this solution to let's say a bank, to some business unit which is with a lot of customers, let's say even for a TV channel, for example, who could use this solution to reach out to their customers and do that last mile transaction of delivering a message, delivering a reminder, delivering a bill, delivering some information of value to that customer. Now, we believe that this was a great solution and it could actually add value to any business. But we were proved wrong in most cases when we reached out to businesses, only because most businesses looked at this solution as a value addition for their customers, being more of an expense than a revenue generating initiative. They would spend money to acquire this solution or this service, but not actually generate any value because they're only giving good service to the customer. And therefore, they felt that this could wait. It was a good to have, but not a need to have. So our ability to convert the solution from a good to have to need to have was proving to be extremely difficult. That the startup went on to do other things and decided to develop new solutions for certain segment specific requirements and became a success. Eventually they got acquired a few years later. But the fact is that the original idea with which we started out did not pan out. So with these three examples, I do hope that I have given you some food for thought to relook at your customer strategy. Maybe try and discover new segments, customer segments where your product or solution could deliver more value, could be perceived more valuable, as more valuable, and people would be more willing to put their money on the table for their solution, for your solution. I will be posting some more such videos on startup strategies. Please wait for them. Until then, wish you all the very best.